Baby boomers are now starting to retire, and as you see that financial deadline approaching, many of you have a big question on your minds. Here's the Fox 5 I-Team's Dana Fowle with what that question is. Dana, good morning.
Okay, good morning. Here's the scenario. You're nearing the finish line, if you will. Well, do you hurry up and pay off the mortgage? Or do you double down on your 401k or other savings you might have? And here to help us answer that is Justin Sullivan. He's a certified financial planner with PNC. Thanks for joining us. I don't really know the answer, so let's look at it again. Do you pay down your mortgage, or do you save more? What do we do?
Good morning, Dana. Thanks for having me today. As you get closer to the finish line of retirement, it's important to make really wise financial decisions because that helps secure the lifestyle that you want to have. Your mortgage is the most important part because for most people, it's the largest item in the budget.
Yeah.
So, what decision do you make? Well, first you need to quantify. If you look at your bank statement, you know how much still remains on your mortgage. So you've got the quantity on that. But what about for retirement? How do you know how much you even need for retirement? We find that out.
That's the question,
right.
Isn't it?
So you can speak to a certified financial planner, or you could even use a free online calculator. Once you get that number, then you can make an assessment. If your saving is close to your goal, then focus on paying down the mortgage.
Right.
But if you're far away, I got to suggest you become more aggressive in adding to retirement.
Okay, so before you think about putting money in either one of those pots there's another one you have to consider first, and that's just emergency savings.
Yeah, so you're right. So let's take a step back. Some things you need to do before you consider anything is you want to have savings that equate to about 6 to 12 months of your life, of your monthly expenses. So that's kind of the first thing you need to do. The second thing is pay down those high interest rate credit cards because that's just kind of taken away from your plans. And then the third step is what I consider optimization. On your retirement side, if your employer is giving you a match on your 401k, make sure you're contributing at least that amount. And then on the mortgage side, we're in a really low interest rate environment. So if you can refinance, that's a smart decision to make as well.
We're fixed income, or getting toward that fixed income range if you're getting ready to retire, but a lot of people have looked forward to around May getting that big tax check because there are tax advantages when you're paying off your mortgage. So some people might think, I don't know if I want to pay it off because I kind of like the tax advantage.
Yeah,
but
that's correct. So obviously, the large advantage of paying down your mortgage is the fact that this big expense has now disappeared each month. But what about the tax piece to it? So I always think about it like this. Think about when you bought your house and you looked at that first statement of your mortgage. Most of your payment actually went to interest.
Right.
So that was deductible. But as you near retirement, it reverses. So the payments that you're making are going to principal. So the answer is yes, the mortgage deduction does go away. However, it probably wasn't as large as you perceived it to be.
So you're probably on the back end of your mortgage, so you ought to think about paying that off. So you're paying down your mortgage, or if you're adding more to your retirement, either way, I think we both could say that that's a win-win. But before you do that, let's review a couple of things that we talked about. I think we're going to put something up right there. Optimize that emergency fund.
Correct.
You talked about that. Pay down the debt. You don't need to go into retirement with credit card debt. Is that right?
That's right.
And make tax efficient decisions. Does that sound pretty good?
That's right. And you've always got the option to continue working. We may not always want to do that,
right,
but you do have that option on the back end. Just continue to work.
Although these days, retirement, it still seems kind of young. I can't imagine you can't keep yourself a little bit busy doing a little something. If you were an accountant, maybe do some taxes?
Right.
Okay. Justin Sullivan, advisor over at PNC. Thanks for joining us. You've been with us before, and we appreciate it. This story, we're getting ready to post it shortly to our website, fox5atlanta.com, and there will be that calculator. I love these calculators, by the way. The one he talked about where you can kind of figure out where you are, what you need to do, that'll get you started. Elise?
Pretty interesting. Dana, thanks a lot.